Hey everybody, Marcus Crawford here with the Idaho Quadcopter channel. Hey, I am out at Dedication Point on the Snake River Canyon today, and I've got a couple of drones that just beg to be compared because they're so similar in specifications. I've got the Autel Evo Nano Plus and the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. These names, I'm telling you, you got to think them clear through because they get kind of convoluted. But because of these are both sub 250 gram drones, and because of the size of the camera on there, and really all around their specifications, they both have obstacle avoidance, etc. They're just a couple of good ones to compare. Now, today we're just going to compare mostly video quality. We may try a couple things with them as battery power allows, but for the most part, what I want to look at today is the video quality. And I'm going to let me just give you a brief rundown of the specifications of these guys. Okay, I had to make myself some notes here so I'd make sure that I'd get this right, but the big deal is the sensor size. So the Zino has a 1/1.3 sensor, the Nano Plus 1/1.28, so essentially the same size, right? They're essentially the same size sensor. Both of them shoot in 4K 30. Speed-wise, the Hubsan is said to have a top speed in sport mode of 16 meters per second. The Autel Nano Plus, 15 meters per second, so very similar in that regard. Range is kind of interesting, although I'm going to tell you range on these little mini drones, I mean, it's just kind of a matter of, you know, you're never going to fly one out that far. I guess that's what I'm saying. So the range on the Zino is said to be 10 kilometers, which is 6.2 miles, and 16.8 kilometers on the Autel drone, which is 10 miles. Trust me, you don't have enough battery power to fly that far. So, but it's interesting to know. It's interesting to know that you have good, solid signal. Now, flight time, that's where the Hubsan really shines at 40 minutes. And I can tell you this one will fly. It doesn't go, I mean, 40 minutes is tough, but it flies for quite a while. The Autel Nano Plus, they're saying 28-minute flight time. Really, it's probably more like around 20 minutes, you know, depending on how you fly. So the day today is, it's in the mid-40s. We've got really mild winds. I think it said 6 mile an hour sustained with 13 mile an hour gusts. I'm not even hardly feeling a breeze right now. So we're going to put these guys up and take them over the canyon. And like I said, the main thing that we're looking at is video quality here. That's the reason that you buy a GPS camera drone. So first, we're going to take out the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. I can tell you, I flew this one earlier today at Julius Kleiner Park in Meridian, and I had some disconnection issues. Another friend of mine, Brian Singleton, recently put out a video where he had a lot of disconnection issues, so we'll just see what happens. We'll take this guy out over the canyon, and the cool thing about it is even if you have a disconnect, it just puts the drone into return to home and it comes back to you. So in any case, let's quit messing around. Let's get these birds in the air. We'll start with the little Zino. Okay, I've got the little Zino Mini Pro fired up, and it's saying that it's ready to fly. I'm going to take a look at the safety menu real quick. I did do a compass calibration. It asked for one. So yeah, nothing here. You can look at that firmware package right there. Yeah, and it's saying it's good to go. Everything's normal. So let's go ahead and get out of there. Let's quit messing around and get this guy in the air. We'll do an automated takeoff here on the app. And there we go, and it's noting that we have obstacle avoidance off, and I'm going to leave it off. It doesn't work very well on this drone anyway, so chalk that one up to Autel. The Autel OA works very good. I've had some pretty bad experiences with the obstacle avoidance on this drone, so I'm not even going to fire it up. So let's take a look at our camera menu first. And yep, we're in 4K 30, and I'm just going to leave it at that 100 megabit bit rate. And just in case you're interested, we're going to do both of these in full auto. So auto it is. And let's start recording. Recording has started. Let's turn the drone around, bring it in and get a good look at it. We're in normal mode. Pretty slow and easy yaw, but you know, you can see the drone is pretty stable. Let's see if we can bring it in here a little bit and rock it back and forth so you can see how that little gimbal works. So yeah, that's all working well. I'm going to drop the camera down, and we're going to do our manual droney. I'm going to kind of point it in a direction here that hopefully will get it over the canyon a little bit quicker. So reverse and up now, reverse and up. And the cool thing about when you go over the canyon is you don't need a lot of altitude, right? Because you're going right over the top of the canyon. Grab a little altitude there. And I'm turning it to get us over the canyon here. I love that look of the side of the canyon, and I can tell you FPV looks really good here on my screen, and you know, the horizon looks pretty good. Might be a little hint of a tilt there, but I think that looks pretty darn good. So yeah, we're out over the canyon. Let's go forward, and we're kind of going into towards the winter sun here right now, and then we'll turn around and come the other way. And ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before, there is the Snake River Canyon. This is just always one of my favorite places to fly a drone. And why? Because of this view, of course. Really something. So in normal mode here, we're at about 7.8 meters per second, almost 8 meters per second there. Let's throw it into sport mode here, and let's just see what we can do. So there is sport mode and full stick forward now. And you can see that kicked it up pretty good. 12.5 meters per second, 14. As you know, their advertised top speed is 16. There's 15. And I can hear the drone out there. 15.3 seems to be our top speed, just short of that advertised 16 meters per second. So, okay, we're going to stop right there and give it a quick yaw around. And then we're gonna go full stick forward the other direction and see if that changes the speed any at all. And I am looking right now as I'm on the controls. I've got a mosquito trying to bite me, but I took care of him. The early winter mosquitoes, man. He was about ready to chomp right in. There's a bunch of cattle that they're running out here, so wherever there's cattle, usually you're going to find mosquitoes and so forth. So let's see, go in this direction. So we're kind of heading kind of northwest a little bit, maybe more north than west. And that, yeah, you know, there's 15 meters per second, so really it's not making really much difference in speed at all. And yeah, you know, I can hear the drone, and boy, it's tilted forward out there. Just about directly in front of us here. Yeah, this is just such an amazing view here. And you know, I want you to take note of battery here. We've been pretty much full throttle the whole time, and we're just down to 86% battery. That's one of the strong points of this drone, is that battery power. And you know, none of the signs of you know, disconnects that I had earlier today when I was flying this drone out at the park. So I don't know what that's about, but we're out there a ways now. Just we're closing in on a kilometer, and we'll stop there when we get that far. And I see it's kind of slowed down a little bit. Pretty close. Okay, there's our kilometer. I am off the sticks now. And, you know, when you talk about speed of a drone, it's situations like this when it's kind of important. When you're kind of high above the canyon here, if you don't have speed, it's you know, it just looks like everything is standing still. So that's why that can be important. So let's bring it on back here. Let's see if we can get over the edge of the canyon here. And I'm kind of banking and forward at the same time here. And we're still in sport mode. And I can tell you my FPV looks really good here. And we're going to see if we can't kind of turn it sideways here. And that'll give us a good test of that gimbal as well. So, you know, if you're going to see any shakes in that gimbal when you're flying at higher speed sideways, that's when often you'll see the strength of the gimbal. I can tell you what I see on FPV sure looks good. Looks really good. So I'm going to see if I can get us in just a little bit closer. Yeah. And there, you know, just as I was bragging about connections there, we lost connections. So let's see how quickly we get it back here. You know, the worst thing that'll happen is the drone will go into return to home. And, you know, that's, again, I'm going to say that's something that Hubsan needs to address on this guy. Yeah, now it's giving us that USB disconnected. That is typical for a Hubsan drone. And now we got that back, and then we still got aircraft disconnected. Yeah, so it's kind of going in and out here. So we'll see what happens. We should, like I said, we should see. Matter of fact, I can hear the drone. It is moving back to us. Yeah, and it's in return mode, it says. So it didn't mess around here, did it? Okay, so now we've got it back. So I'm going to cancel that. We don't want to be done with this just yet. So okay, so we canceled that, and let's go ahead and head this other direction here. The drone is about right above us. So yeah, there we lost. So there, I put it back out over the canyon, but we had another disconnection. So let's see if we get it back here. I've got the flat part of the antennas pointed straight at the drone. And like I said, I've got my eyes on the drone, and I want to see if when it goes into RTH, and yeah, it did. So let's see. Let's see if we get it back here. Yeah, so now we got it back. Okay, we're going to cancel again. And I'm going to go back on out. Let's point it the other way. Back out over the canyon. And hopefully you can hear that on the microphone. You know, we talk about speed of these drones. When you're staring, oops, that was me looking at the drone instead of the FPV. So now we're pointed straight at the drone, so I think we're back in good shape here. And you know, one of the things is, I will say, in the defense of the drone, we weren't very high off the ground, so there could have been terrain that interfered with our signal that first time we lost connection there. And as I turned the drone around, as I was turning the drone, you know, there's opportunity to change the angle of the antennas. And that can cause that kind of problem. And you know, the kind of the cool thing here is we're still just down to 66% battery. I don't know. Oh, and I'm seeing on here at some point, I believe it quit recording. Yeah, well, I don't know that for a fact. Gosh, I'm almost afraid to stop or start it. I hit that button again. And it says it's recording. So I don't know at what point during that disconnection it stopped recording, but I guess we'll find out. That's the problem with those disconnections. Okay, so let's come back over the side of the canyon here, and I always like looking at this this little bit of I guess it would be a landmark, I suppose, is what you'd call it. And this was always a compass here. And, you know, you can just see that X there. And, you know, it was marked north, south, east, and west. And then, but people have messed with it. And then, yeah, I'm going to spin around here so you can see that what they did with the rocks there. Pick that camera up. And then, let's see, whoever Mila is, Mila, C-R-O-S, I don't know. Yeah, so anyway, that must be somebody's girlfriend or something. That's pretty funny, huh? That changes all the time. That's why I always like to go out and look at it and see what somebody's done with it. Anyway, there is the canyon. Is that beautiful or what? I'm telling you what, I hope the video that we get back off of this drone looks as good as what I'm seeing on the FPV screen. And I love this, you know, going by the edge of the canyon here. I just always think this looks so cool. As you look straight down, and you can see how deep that canyon is. You can see that trail going right by the edge of the canyon. So people walk out that, and there's even a trail that goes down into the canyon. I've seen people walking down in there. I'm not sure I would do it because one slip and you'd be in trouble. So here we are, you know, we're at over 15 meters per second. You know, we've been in sport mode this whole time. Coming right over the top of where we're standing here. Right over the middle. And I love the Doppler effect of that drone as it flies over the top of us. So that is 15 meters per second. That's about, oh, I'm facing the wrong way. I'm going to get a disconnect for sure. Yeah, that was operator error. I was faced directly away from the drone as I flew over. So we'll see if we can get it back. Should be coming back to us here. As the drone flew by, and I didn't turn around to keep the antenna facing it, so. Which, you know, they talk about a 6-mile range with this drone. I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't count on that in any condition. And I can hear it right above us. Let's see if we get that signal back here. And it's right above us. And it's coming down, but I have no connection here, guys. So whatever it does, it's gonna do. Yeah, I have no control of the drone. I'm just gonna let it land here. So I was going to hand catch it if it was going to land in a bush or something like that, but it didn't. So it landed in a good clear spot there on hard ground. So I just let it go. But there was no getting that connection back that time. So that's one of the things that you risk with this drone. So you want to make sure you get a good return to home. Okay, let's get the Autel Evo Nano Plus in the air. Hey, okay, I've got the Autel Evo Nano Plus fired up. I keep getting that gimbal is self-checking. Please take off later. Kind of repeats itself. I did a compass calibration. I noticed that, yeah, we're at 99% battery. So, okay, so we're okay there. I was looking at the wrong battery meter there. I was looking at the one for the controller. So, see there we get that gimbal self-checking again. So, I don't know why that repeats, but you almost have to time your takeoff for when that's done. So let's see what happens here. Okay, there we go. And it slowly spins up the motor, and it gave us that, it refreshed our home point. So we're going to start recording, but first I want to go in that menu and show you what we're doing. I'm going to turn off that take photos while shooting. I found out the hard way how that works the other day, but 4K 30 frames per second. So that's where we want to be, and we're going to leave everything in automatic. Let's start recording now. And you can see the obstacle avoidance on this guy is working as it should, because it's showing the distance from the ground and how close it is to me. And look at how stable that drone is. That looks good, huh? I'm liking this drone better all the time. Although I will say, the last time I flew it, let's rock it back and forth here so you can see that gimbal on this guy. The last time, and I can't move it forward now because it's obstacle avoidance. It's seeing us standing there. So let's not mess around. Let's point it out over the canyon. Let's quit wasting battery, and let's do our droney. So reverse and up now, reverse and up. And we'll get right over the top of that point. And I'm kind of adjusting the angle here to get it out over the canyon. And let's drop that gimbal down a little bit. And yeah, I need to move it a little bit more out over the canyon here. There we go. And we're about, what, 23 meters high or so. Let's quit messing around. Let's get out over the canyon. So I am looking at the horizon. Doesn't look too bad. There may be a tiny bit of a tilt, but not bad at all. So certainly, I think it was certainly something you could live with for sure. So this is about as far out as we went when we went out with the Zino. So and we're just in standard mode. I didn't notice our speed as we headed that direction. So let's go full tilt forward here in standard mode and see what we get up to. And it should get us up to 10 meters per second, which is standard mode, which is great. That, you know, you almost, I'm just going to say, sometimes you almost don't need ludicrous mode or sport mode, they usually call it ludicrous mode on this one. So okay, let's do like we did with the little Zino, and let's go into ludicrous mode. And that's going to turn obstacle avoidance off, which is fine. But we should also, what we're going to see here is it should not go faster than 12 meters per second in this mode. And in fact, it's not even doing that. We're actually under. There must have, some wind must have came up. It's under 10 meters per second. And now it's speeding up a little bit. Yeah, now it's kicking up. Yeah, there's 11. Let's see if we get up to that 12 meters per second. And we're not going to. So I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to shoot. The thing is, I need to go into I need to stop recording to do that. So we're going to stop recording. I'm going to go into the menu, and we're going to go into control and flight mode, and priority preference, we're going to put it on speed. So when we're in ludicrous mode, it will go faster. Now what they're saying is that could cause problems with the gimbal. Totally understand that. In other words, you could get a gimbal drop while you're at those kind of speeds. So we're good to go there. And let's start recording again. And let's go full tilt forward, and let's just see how it does here. And yeah, so there's, you know, it's really not going any faster than it did. Yeah, a little bit. There's 12 meters per second. And, you know, I'm kind of assuming that the wind is the same as it was with the Zino. So it definitely is slower. The Zino got up to, I believe nearly well, I think it did get up to its 15 meters per second. I can't remember if it was this direction or the other. So let's turn it around and let's go the other way and see how it does. And again, what this comparison is mostly about video quality. because that is why you buy a camera drone. But I know speed is talked about a lot on these mini drones, so that's why we're doing this little test right here. So coming back the other way, and you know, there must be a little bit more wind going this way. Well, I don't know, we're over 12 meters per second. So the little, I'm going to say the little Zino was definitely faster, no question about it. I should be seeing the drone coming by here any second. Boy, I'm sure hearing those ravens squawk. I don't know if you guys can hear that on the mic, but bunch of ravens. You know, this drone is a lot quieter than the Hubsan drone, I can tell you that. 'Cause I couldn't even hear it when it went by there. Where the Hubsan drone, it was very, very evident. And by the way, another thing that I want to add is connection-wise, when I was flying the Hubsan, or excuse me, just now when I had the drone the other direction, I had my back to it and we still had a good connection. In other words, I didn't have to worry about pointing this controller directly at the drone. So that's kind of the difference in Autel's technology, that just a much better connection. We can just say that right up front here. So we'll go out here about 1 kilometer and then we'll come back and I'll try and kind of do like I did with the little Hubsan and maybe look at the side of the canyon a little bit. So there, 13, yeah, we got over 13 meters per second there for a little bit. So I'm sure that depends on the wind. Almost 1 kilometer. Yeah, there's 1 kilometer right there. Okay, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it out of ludicrous. We're going to go back into standard mode, and we're going to do a yaw around here. Boy, I got mosquitoes flying around me like crazy. And see if we can get a nice smooth yaw here. I mean, the flight controls on this, man, Autel did just a great job with the flight controls. It's really cool. So I'm putting a little sideways stick on it here as we come around. And there we go. So we're full stick forward the other direction. I'm swatting mosquitoes while I'm at it here. We're down to 60% battery. So this will tell you the difference between battery. I think when we did this with the Hubsan, it was like at 88%. So that Hubsan definitely has more battery power. There's no question about it. Yeah, so we're almost at the 10 meters per second, which is what standard mode is. So I'm going to see if I can slowly come around here and look at the side of the canyon. And I think it was about at this point that we lost connection with the little Zino Mini Pro. But no such luck with this guy. Good solid connection. Gives you a lot more confidence when you're flying, when you're not worried about, you know, if you're going to turn the drone at a certain angle that you're going to lose connection. We can get closer to the side of the canyon. Let's move in a little closer. So I don't know how far the other direction we're going to be able to go here with this one, just simply because of battery power. We're already down to almost 50%. And I'm moving in closer as we go sideways here. And let's go back over the top of out over the canyon here. Turn around here a little bit. And I'm going to see if I can get us back over that little landmark that we looked at. I don't know if we have enough battery to do that or not, but we're going to try. And there I can hear the drone, but I'm telling you, this guy is way more quiet. I mean, it's startling to me, you know, flying them back to back, how much more quiet this one is than that other drone. I'm telling you, I have been pretty hard on this drone at different times because of the video quality. And of course, we'll look at what we see here. And I'm raising in altitude here a little bit as we turn around, but I'm telling you, it looks really good on FPV here, and this thing just flies awesome. The flight controls on this guy are just really good. And, you know, speed-wise, I think it's not doing bad. So that's that trail. If you look on the side of the canyon, I'm going to drop the camera down here a little bit. That's that trail I was telling you about that goes up the side of the canyon. And I saw a guy walking that the other day. Can you believe that? I don't know. I'd be a little nervous. He had his dog with him and stuff. I'm too old for that kind of stuff. So there's our landmark that we flew over the top of with the Zino Mini Pro. So let's see if we can get back over the top of it with this guy. And I think let's drop a little altitude. We were, I think, a little lower with the, and I'm slowing down here as we come over. We were a lot lower with the Zino. Let me adjust our vector just a little. Oh, that's too much. See if I can get right over the top of it here. And we'll drop that camera down as we get over the X. X marks the spot. And I'm not sure, I think this thing dates way back. I think it was originally a landmark for airmail, that it would point the airmail planes to Boise. I think that's what originally that was all about. Oh boy, did I yawed pretty quickly there, didn't I? So let's move forward here and take a look at the I Love You So Much. What's that say? It says Mila Cross, right? Is that what it says? Or yeah. And look, there's a little heart above that too. So, you know, maybe the Boy Scouts need to come out and fix this up again and put the compass back together there. Okay, let's pick up that camera. Let's move back over the side of the canyon here and bring it home. We're down to 39% battery. That's about right. And, you know, I mean, you look at the speed we're at here. Okay, this is just in standard mode. I mean, you know, and again, you know, the closer you are to the ground, the more sensation of speed you get. So let's see, I'm full stick forward now, and it's moving up to about 10 meters per second, you know, and that's about what, 33, or excuse me, that's about 24 miles an hour, something like that, 23, 24 miles an hour. This is cool. I love this look. So we're going to go out over the canyon here a little bit and yaw as we go. I just love this look. Let's drop the camera down. I'm going to slow down a little bit, drop the camera so you get an idea of what that cliff face looks like. We'll pick it back up. We're almost home here. I'll tell you what, let's fly it to the other side of us, and then we'll do a return to home. Like I said, we're down to about 34%. So, and I can hear the drone now. And you know, when you're looking at it flying at 10 meters per second, it looks pretty quick, I'm telling you. And there's a trail there. You can see that trail. People walk down that trail all the time too. I've walked it. I'm telling you, you definitely want to watch your step. You sure wouldn't want to slip. Okay, I think we're out here far enough that we should do a return to home. So let's just see how the drone handles that. I'm going to do it on the controller. And it took the command immediately. Man, this thing is just a pleasure to fly. You know, I'm telling you, after, I don't want to give up everything that I'm going to talk about in my conclusion, but after flying that little Zino Mini Pro, man, this thing it's night and day. The flight controls and the connection, etc. And I hear those, there's a raven right there out in front of me. I've dropped that camera straight down, so let's see. Well, you know, it's about as close as the Zino was, so let's we'll let it come down a little bit, and then we'll cancel. and it's coming down at about 1 meter per second. So okay, I canceled. Let's see if we can get it on the pad here. It's wanting to land. Oh no, it's see that I wasn't looking at the FPV, so it sees something below it. See if we can get it over just a little. And boy, of course, a wind comes up just as I'm trying to land. Okay, full stick down, and it should pick up the camera there. And it's a little off here. No, we're on the pad. There we go. And it dropped into return to home just as we were landing there. So let me get everything shut down and we'll do a quick conclusion. Hey, okay, the Autel Evo Nano Plus, the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. I'm comparing these two drones because they do have very similar specifications. I think we saw a pretty stark difference there. Had a lot of problems with this guy connection-wise. I haven't seen the video yet. I'm anxious to see the video off of it. But I've had continual, I don't think I've ever had a flight with this drone where I was really happy with the video quality. So I think I can say pretty confidently that the Autel Nano Plus, the Autel Evo Nano Plus is probably going to be better looking video. I'm going to put them up on top above me here, so side by side, so you guys can see that while we're doing this conclusion. And the other downside to the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro is you saw the connection issues that I had, and it's been like that since new. It's just something that Hubsan has to get figured out because you just don't have confidence in the drone when you're always worried about a disconnection. You know, okay, if I make this maneuver, is it going to turn the antennas in such a way that I lose connection? And then it, you know, you get that where it says it loses connection with the controller, etc. And then you saw at the very end there that the connection just never came back. Often it'll come back. I think had I cycled the controller on and off, it probably would have come back, but you know, enough, it was landing at that point. And as soon as I saw that it was going to land at a nice, safe spot, I just didn't worry about it and let it land. But, you know, I'm just going to tell you, Hubsan, you got some work to do here. Now, the Nano Plus, I'm going to tell you that, you know, you've seen me go through some of the issues with this drone. Man, this thing is just a pleasure to fly. And you saw the difference in connection. So when I was flying this drone to the south of me, I was faced away from the camera the other way. I was faced directly away from the drone. No issues with control, whatever, or FPV. It was just perfect the whole time. So, you know, whatever secrets Autel puts into that, their control system, it works really, really well. And then also you saw the obstacle avoidance when we took off. It operated perfectly. And the previous Nano Plus I had some issues with OA, not so with this one. The OA works perfect on it. And then speed-wise, definitely the Zino Mini Pro had a little bit of an advantage in speed. It definitely flew a little faster. We had it up to 15 meters per second, and I think even a little over a couple of times, whereas this guy, I think the fastest we went was 13 and a half, something like that. Maybe we hit 14, I don't recall exactly. But I think I also, flying them back to back, does that really make that much difference? You know, you saw when we were flying along the edge of the canyon that, you know, speed-wise, it still looked pretty fast. So, and wind today, pretty mild wind. And I know that the wind is the bugaboo of the Nano Plus, because I've flown it in headwinds before and seen some issues with it. But it wasn't an issue today that I could see. So that's a good thing. So, anyway, I guess that's, I should talk about price a little bit before we shut down here. So this guy with a 3 battery kit, I paid, I believe, $670 for. This guy with a 3 battery kit when I bought it, was about $950. They've since raised the price another 150 bucks, so it's about 1,100 bucks for that same package now. So man, you know, so really if you think about it, it's nearly, well, not quite double, but nonetheless, I'm going to tell you, you get what you pay for. It would be my, what I would say there. And yeah, so in any case, I guess that's about it. This is Marcus Crawford with the Idaho Quadcopter channel out. And if you like this kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel. Most of all, I absolutely appreciate you taking the time to look at this video. And of course, we'll see you on the next one. The Autel Evo Nano Plus and the Hubsan Zino Mini Pro. All right, see you guys later. Bye.